All right, so at this point, I expect that you are a Sitefinity expert, a Sitefinity Insights expert to be specific. You've set up personas, conversions, you understand touch points and attribution. So now I'm going to make sure that you understand the concept of personalization and how that can benefit from a good, rich setup in Sitefinity Insight. So this is a feature and a benefit of the Sitefinity CMS itself. And perhaps you're already using personalization, but now you can leverage the work and the data that you've set up in Sitefinity Insight to make it a bit easier to do that personalization work and that content targeting in the Sitefinity CMS. So let's take a look at the CMS itself first and how that works, and then we'll jump back over to Sitefinity Insight just to sort of complete that narrative. So here I am in the personalization backend in the Sitefinity CMS. I'm actually using our own site here for a moment. You can get to this personalization screen in the marketing tab, and you click on personalization and you'll load this set of rules. So as it just loads again here, we're going to click on the button to create a new user segment. And I'm going to create a segment with a rule to target Sitefinity Insight users. So you can bet that we are interested in people who visit our own website who show that they may be interested in getting us to help them with their onboarding, their use, and their optimization of Sitefinity Insight. So it might make sense that we personalize the content on our website when we have identified that we have a visitor that fits that persona. So I'm going to say that this is a content personalization target for visitors who are interested in improving their use of Sitefinity Insight. Now, that's just the placeholder for and a label for this particular personalization targeting rule. What are the characteristics we're going to use to identify that this user can receive our personalization and our specific content? So in this characteristics, in this rule set, there are some things you can do within Sitefinity itself. But for the purposes of this video series, we're going to focus on what you can do when you're connected to Sitefinity Insight. So let's start with this persona characteristic. You can bet and you can believe that we have a persona already defined in our own instance of Sitefinity Insight that is defined around somebody's predisposition to be interested in the Sitefinity platform itself. So if Sitefinity Insight has categorized somebody and identified that they belong to that persona, it would be great to push specific content back out to that user when they're visiting our website. So I'm going to choose that persona as our targeting rule. Now I've got a rule that says if somebody belongs to that persona in Sitefinity Insight, I want to target them with personalized content. So when I'm not going to get into the personalization capabilities of Sitefinity, but when you're doing this and you're targeting content at a particular rule, that rule is now informed by behavior and data that has been collected by Sitefinity Insight. If we quickly go back to that list of characteristics, you've got some other criteria. We do have a lead scoring rule set up for people who are interested in Sitefinity. If they've done enough activity, if they've come to our workshops, if they downloaded our white papers, if they've read our Sitefinity blog posts, they are a hot lead. And we may also want to make sure that we're targeting that group of users with additional Sitefinity content when they're on our own website. We're following up with them specifically in a way that pertains to them so that we can at least have an initial conversation and find out if there's more that we should be doing to support that kind of work. So now we have a personalization rule set up in Sitefinity based on data that has been produced in Sitefinity Insight. Pretty cool. So now we're going to go into Sitefinity Insight and see how this data shows up there. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to impose on you to just make a bit of a cognitive leap. I don't have the data available on our website that I can show you. So I'm going to go back into our sample environment in Sitefinity Insight. So here we are in the personalization menu in Sitefinity Insight. And back to our sample data site. This is an example of where the homepage of this sample site has been personalized, also using a persona rule. So in this quantum website demo, there's been some personalization set up, and this report is showing us the uses, the traffic on that page based on the personalization segments that have been targeted with unique content, with personalized content. So within Sitefinity Insight, we get some great reporting on what kind of consumption we're getting on that page based on whether or not it has been personalized. Further down here, we've got a nice graph on how those different segments are using the page, how they're viewing the page. And look at this, we have conversions and their attribution broken down by those personalization rules as well. So is it more likely that the IT manager is using our store locator, or is it a business user or a gamer? This is data that's coming through from how we've personalized that page, telling us is the personalized version of any particular page in Sitefinity having a more likely contribution to whether or not we see a conversion. All right, so pretty powerful stuff. Personalization gets a whole lot more powerful, and the visibility into how that content's being leveraged becomes a lot more clear when you can use these two systems together. Couple concepts left to show you. We'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.